All right, government officials in Ukraine say Russia has launched hundreds of drones and dozens of missiles in a massive overnight attack. The strikes have killed at least 2 people, according to President Zelenskyy, and knocked out power to thousands. CBS News foreign correspondent Ramy Inocencio is following developments for us from our London newsroom and has more. Ramy, good morning. Tell us about these overnight Russian attacks.
Sure, Errol. Good morning there. Yes, power outages from those Russian attacks have now rippled across several of Ukraine's most populated regions that were targeted. For example, about 300,000 people lost their water supply in the city of Odessa. You see that on the screen right there. This is near the southeast front line. Also, about 170,000 families lost power in the Kyiv region, and then about 10,000 customers lost heat in Dnipro in the southeast. And Ukraine's Air Force said that Russia launched more than 200 drones and 24 ballistic missiles. Most of those were taken out, but about 24 drones and about 8 missiles did get through. And Errol, you mentioned 2 people were killed. We're also seeing about a dozen injuries, including a baby boy and a 4-year-old girl in Dnipro. But these attacks notably came just a couple hours after President Zelenskyy posted on X that there wasn't any word. He hadn't gotten any word about an energy ceasefire that they've been trying to get with Russia, basically to stop hitting each other's energy infrastructure. And then this morning, these attacks happened. Zelenskyy had a new post saying the most effective defense against these ballistic missiles is Patriot systems. And here, obviously, Errol, call out for more support from the U.S. and Europe.
And on that point, Ramy, this is all happening as NATO defense ministers are holding talks in Brussels. So how are Kyiv's allies responding now?
Sure. Solidarity is the word, continues to be the word here. And right now, all 31 of NATO's defense ministries are represented in Brussels. Their agenda, one, is the security of Ukraine. Another, security of NATO writ large, but especially in the Arctic vis-a-vis what's happened with the White House, President Trump, and Greenland. And another, a third, is how NATO can be more unified in the face of this tension from President Trump here. But on Ukraine this morning, the UK announced a new package, a big one, nearly $700 million to support the air defenses of Ukraine, and that includes 1,000 short-range missiles that can take out Russian drones. And NATO Chief Mark Rutte, trying to balance Europe but also keep the U.S. on side, had this to say earlier. Take a listen.
The US is leading the peace effort, and there is only one country, the most powerful nation on earth, the US, which can do that under the leadership of President Trump, breaking the deadlock with Putin, getting the peace process going. So I really think the US is doing exactly what we need when it comes to Ukraine.
All right, so we're not expecting a takeaway from today's meeting there, but discussions will carry on into tomorrow in another location in Germany. This is the annual Munich Security Conference. Similar themes too, Errol, along with the added tension of cooperation with the U.S. We're expecting Secretary of State Marco Rubio to lead that delegation, but other heads of state, Zelenskyy of Ukraine, Starmer from here in the U.K., Macron of France, and Merz in Germany. In terms of deliverables, I think we're going to be looking for a message of unity or possibly discord with the U.S. there at the table.
All right, we'll watch that closely. Ramy in London, thank you very much.